Hey everyone, Axton here. Now I know things have been pretty quiet recently with the summit going on and all. There hasn't really been any time trials going on, so I just thought that I'd like to share with you guys the Freedrive challenge and how Freedrive actually works. I'd also like to thank a lot of the interest and a lot of the new subscribers for popping past the channel, leaving comments and shooting me a few messages. So if there's anything that you guys would really like to ask me, or if you've got any general questions, don't hesitate to send me a message at all. So anyway, off to it. Now, a lot of people probably don't realise that Freedrive challenges actually do exist. Now, this can be accessed much like the Freedrive skills challenges as well, or Freedrive skills, where you can either, if you're playing on the keyboard using comma and holding it down for a few seconds, or if you're using a gamepad, holding the left on the directional pad. Now, what you can do in Freedrive challenge is you can actually create your own race or speed trap events by dropping down checkpoints and pretty much making your own track. The one that I'm going to go through today is one that I created just purely out of a bit of boredom, which has now turned out to be one of the main tracks that I tend to use quite a lot. I like to refer to it as the Folley, or you could even look at it as, I guess, a bit of a Nurburgring of the crew. Now this one starts off over here in the salt pans by Las Vegas, and as you can see, winds its way all the way around the west coast and back again. Now this starts off generally from the Bonneville Salt Flats, works its way through the Great Basin, all the way up north past the Columbia Basin, through the Southern Cascades, through the Shasta Cascade, all the way back down through San Francisco, and then all of a sudden we start hitting the hills. This comes all the way across the top of the hills, down to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, comes across to the giant sequoia forest, winds its way through, back into the hills, and then back into the Death Valley where it finishes. Now the track is very varied and can take anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes to complete, but I enjoy this track myself. It's generally best to use performance vehicles or even circuit spec vehicles. Any vehicle is perfectly fine, but I use it as a test track myself because it starts off with long flowing straights down the highway and then gradually gets a little bit more complex, a bit of city driving through San Francisco, so that way you can test the balance of the car, how it feels, how it handles if you get it airborne, and then you get a bit of winding track in the hills with hill climbs. You get a very lovely view as you come down through the coastal range down towards Laguna Seca itself, and then you just get a nice long dash across the plains over to the giant sequoia forest. The giant sequoia forest, it's bituminized, but it's kind of a B-road, so you don't get as much grip through the forest itself, but it's very tight, very technical, a lot of things to run into. And then after you exit the forest, there's some very long canyon turns, fast flowing, and then a bit of a downhill run through the canyons down back into the Death Valley and the Bonneville Salt Flats. You tend to get a very good feel of the car by using the track, and if you're interested, you can actually use this track yourself. So in Freedrive challenge, just select favorites, press X for an import, and the 7-character unique code that you'll need is FPFSJJJ, and that will import the Folley. If you're interested, give it a go. It's a bit long, and you can get probably about, I think, $13,000–14,000 odd just for doing it. It's entirely asphalt, and I have a lot of fun racing it. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and as always, take care everyone, and happy gaming.